Well, this video goes out to Thiago and Andrea, and it concerns Constellation brands. Now, before we delve into Constellation brands and how they relate to the Great Corn War of 2019, as we called it, just want to have a little bit of a thought process about the ideas of stakeholders and issues and how they might apply to this situation. With regard to stakeholders, I always want you to remember you're using the concepts of marketing. In other words, think all the demographics that you could apply to this situation. Age, location, preference in a beer product, whether they work out, etc. All these help you to define the person or persons that you're actually concerned with in this case. The other thing is, if you're looking at companies that may feel threatened by this, then you want to think about the T part of a SWOT analysis, the threats part. What companies out there are similarly positioned who might feel that the position taken by InBev, our products don't have corn syrup, but it's really only one product, Bud Light, okay, that they might feel threatened by that. And also, just in the same way that Constellation Brands is going to have to adapt, they'll have to adapt. Okay, so stakeholders first, then issues. You want to think about what these different people will be positioning themselves to respond to this ad. Okay, and with that said, let's go look at a little bit of information. I'm sure you've done some information on Constellation Brands, and don't worry, I will post this PowerPoint presentation or this slide so that you've got it. The big thing is, it's a huge company. It is an importer of a variety of alcoholic beverages. It's number 1 or number 3, I think, domestically throughout the world in the United States. But this, as you look at the right portion of the slide, gives you that information. The more interesting part, I would suggest, is on the left side. InBev and Constellation Brands, in many ways, are very closely related to each other as a result of the fact that InBev bought a Mexican brewery, Modelo. It had to give a license over to Constellation Brands to sell products, so there wouldn't be an antitrust violation. So, in many ways, Constellation Brands is relying on AB InBev to sell product, okay, helping it out. And as a result of that, through the license, Constellation Brands is also trying to make a lot of sales. So these two companies are in a very symbiotic relationship. The link between the two being this perpetual license that was given at the time that the Modelo brewery group was purchased by AB InBev. What does that mean? Well, from an ethical perspective, I suppose the argument could be said that Constellation Brands can't afford to throw a lot of mud on InBev, because in many ways these two companies have a very tight financial and operational relationship. The perpetual license is what it says. In other words, AB InBev has given Constellation a license to sell a variety of products, and in return Constellation is paying InBev a lot of money in terms of the sales that they make. And these are sales both domestic and international. So as you come up with your stakeholders and you think, well, what's the position of Constellation Brands vis-a-vis InBev? Okay, you'll have to consider the fact that it is primarily it's not an arm's length separation between these two companies. Okay, that's number 1. The other thing I want you to think about is the following. On the right side, you notice that they sell a lot of products. Not all these products are corn-free, right? But AB InBev has put out this corn-free ad, and guess what? It's only as to one product. So things to think about, in other words, the scope of the ad, the stakeholders, etc., and how it's going to impact on this operational and financial relationship that these companies have as you go forward. So things to think about. If you have any questions, feel free to always give me a call. I'm happy to help you out. Have a good day now. Take care.